and that is Mr. Trajan House. Come on, and just put you a chair right here. Just put you a chair right here next to Derek, and we're going to start with Derek, and we'll work our way back to you, Trajan. But we'll start from the end there. Just tell it. Well, you guys are going to do that. We're going to start with Derek, and he's going to give about 5 minutes, and then after that we'll move on down. But give them an applause as they finish. Not now. When they finish. When they finish, will you just give them some applause, because you're going to hear some great stories here. You're going to hear and you're going to hear some really, really awesome things that they've done and that they've accomplished. Okay, are we ready? Okay.
Hello, everybody. My name is Derek Taylor. I started with CITC February of 2013. It was a long time coming for me to get into the IT field. I hadn't, prior to coming here, I hadn't been in the IT field. I hadn't been certified, but when I came here, I think in the middle of maybe a month or two in, I took what Pastor Racer was teaching and applied it and started looking for jobs. When they introduced, setting up the resume and everything, he told us, he gave us a starter resume, and we had to kind of build on what we were learning and what we were, the stuff that we was taking home. And I went and started looking for jobs as I started understanding the technology and getting into depth. From there, I started for a hospital, Children's Memorial Hospital, downtown Chicago, and desktop support. That it was kind of weird how it happened, because I'm actually doing it, and it was like, what do I do? And so I started going through all the books, that we had, all the information. I started reading up on it because I was nervous. I'm like, they're actually about to pay me, and I need to know, I need to show my skills, because not only am I representing myself, but I was representing the school. And I was there for about 8 months, up until February 2000. I'm sorry, I started that job in August of 2013. And then February of 2014, I started at a job, a permanent job, benefits and everything. And John Jerkin Associates, and basically the skills that I got from here, I went on and took that from the job too and put it to this job. And then let me go back into after the A+ certification, then I took the CCNA. That class is very hard, but we can do it. We have done it. As you heard today, 2 people got certified this morning, so I have to take my second part, and it's been very beneficial. So I'll get to the job now. The job that I have now is basically allows me to be over a whole park district. So I'm over a zoo, a museum, a golf club, a financial building, and I have my own little office. I go into my main office maybe 2 days a week. The other days I'm out at these locations doing whatever they need. So it can be the network is down, PC needs to be fixed, there's a virus, the recent viruses that came up were Heartbleed and one with the Internet Explorer. Got called on that, so I had to go out and make sure and pretty much calm everybody down, saying, you can use another option. So my role there is system integrator, and basically I just, whatever anybody's system, what they need, I'm the point man that they look to. And so the class has been very beneficial, so I'll just leave it there.
Good morning. My name is Karen Odom, and I'm currently employed with the Chicago Public Schools. I started off as a program supervisor for an extended day program that Mayor Daley he implemented as a pilot study with 10 Chicago public schools. and my school site was one of the pilot schools. Well, when we got a new mayor, the mayor was not going to fund the program. And the school site that I'm currently working at, we have over 500 students. So we had enough technology that we wanted to keep it, but we didn't know how to propose it to the new mayor in order to keep this technology. So my boss contacted me over the summer and said, I need you to be the lead person for the tech department. We're going to run a whole tech department in order to keep these computers and these iPads, and you're the only person in the building that I feel like have enough knowledge to be able to do this. So I didn't tell anybody, but I just ran a web-based program. The only thing they had to do was log onto the internet and complete a math program and a reading program. I didn't do anything technical. I just managed the program. When there was a problem, I would call the IT people, and they would run me through the steps over the phone. So I said, I need to get myself in a position where I can maintain this new job. So I enrolled in the A+ class, and the information that I was receiving, I was able to bring back to my job site, and people actually qualified me and said, well, you know what, this young lady really knows what she's doing. A lot of people at the job and within the Chicago public school system, they don't see a lot of African-American women working in IT. So it was something that I had to make sure that I was capable of doing, because a lot of the people that you see in IT are typically men. And especially, you don't really see African-American women. So I knew that it was my responsibility to educate myself and qualify myself to be able to maintain employment. And as a result of me enrolling in the A+ class, I've been able to solve problems that we had at a local level, network level. I've even shared things with the IT people over the phone that they didn't even know, because I asked on Saturday, write it down, and take it back on Monday. So I've just learned that this is about survival of the fittest. You have to be able to put yourself out there, work hard, and be able to apply yourself to be able to let people know that you're qualified to do it. It can be done. The answers are out there. You're not going to know everything, but you got to know how to get the answer that you need and be resourceful. And just on this past Friday, with the 50 school closures in Chicago Public Schools, there have been a lot of things that have happened different in the district. And they're moving away from paper and pencil. Students are not taking tests on booklets anymore. Everything is done on computers. So as a result of getting a new board president, she wants the students to be tested on a computer using a network and everything. So the ISAT that the students took, it really didn't qualify anything. It doesn't determine promotion or anything. But this new testing, NWEA, will determine if the students are promoted and how well the teachers are teaching. So my boss just told me on Friday, because of the certification program that I'm going through, he wants me to become the testing coordinator. And as a result of that, I will be receiving a double-digit increase in my salary. So I'm very grateful for this program, because it has offered me opportunities within my job site and my school site, where it has given me the opportunity to earn more money and sharpen my skills. So this is something that I think that a lot of people in our community need to take advantage of, because it's not just about working at AT&T or Comcast. These jobs are everywhere because everybody is trying to move technical. They want to keep up. So employment opportunities are everywhere. And I want to encourage you all to really take what Pastor Reyes is telling you to heart, because it's all so true, and it's relevant for the day and age that we live in. And I want to just leave this last thing. I do agree that the class is very, very rigorous. You know, it's one day a week. You have to apply yourself and study. But I've been through college. I've obtained a master's degree, and it has not opened the doors that this class has opened for me. And I've been through regular university schooling. So know that what Pastor Razor is saying is true. You know, this certification has opened way more doors for me than a master's degree. And I still have to pay Sally Mae every month. So this is something that you really want to open your ears and your hearts to be able to receive this information.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jacinto Herrera. Jack, if that's easier. So I currently work for AT&T. I have a great job. I'm a test and turn-up manager. I started out 14 years ago in engineering. So we were doing inside engineering. I've also had jobs outside as a planner, and currently now a training manager. Love my job. So I've got some. I consider myself well-rounded. Got some good outside experience, some good inside experience. And as a training manager, it's my job to manage the training for about 126 technicians, inside technicians as opposed to outside technicians. I also do test and turn up. What that means is any new piece of equipment coming into our network, I work with the technicians to implement it, integrate it into the network. So really love my job, and Cisco, getting my Cisco certification is something that I've been working at for a really long time. I've tried different things. I've done self-study. I've done working with technicians where we had a group. We met over the phone every Sunday. That worked for about 6, 7, 8 months, but life happens. People started falling off. I've also done the boot camp too. And I'll tell you what, you guys, I am I consider myself really fortunate to be a part of this program, to have heard of this program. So anyway, I've got my first, I passed my first exam, and I'm getting ready to, like my 2 classmates, hopefully schedule and take my second exam one of these days, I promise. But anyway, going back to this program and why it works. So I've tried a lot of different things, but I think that, and this is a word we used a lot in the class, convergence. A lot of things kind of came together to make this work. The environment is conducive to learning. We're working on hands-on equipment. The instructors, man, Mr. Felix, if I could hug him right now, I would. Man, he's excellent. He's top notch, man. Not only does he know his stuff, man, he can teach it, and that's really important to be able to teach it. And also my classmates. The classmates, I have a lot of admiration for them, and the discussions with the classmates, like I said, everything just came together to actually make this work, and that's why I think this program is successful. Again, I consider myself really fortunate to have heard of the program and to take advantage, and I really hope that you guys do as well. It's a great program. Mm-hmm.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dina Cole, and I'm actually probably more the newbie of the panel, and so I'll go from a different angle on this. I spent probably about 20 years of my working life completely miserable, utterly miserable. I went and I got a paycheck, just like everybody else, but I was just completely unhappy. And I think that falls into the category of a lot of us as a culture. We accept the jobs out there because we feel like we have to. Before I go further in my story, I just want to press upon you all that we don't have to accept things just because we think we do. This whole program is an opportunity for us to grab onto what we feel or what we want and desire, take hold of it and live it. And that's exactly what all of us on this panel are, and will be doing. So with that being said, I started here last February in Pastor Razor's CompTIA A+ course. Challenging, exciting, hands-on, completely worth it. Pastor Razor is awesome, energetic, technical expert, all of the above. I have nothing but, I can't even express to you all in words how I feel about this program, how I feel about the teachers, the staff, how I feel about the administrative staff, who's the backbone, who's been here and doing everything from administrator to making coffee for us when we come dragging in here on Saturdays. And like Pastor Razor's mentioned before, it's a setting of which I always want to be a part of, no matter what transpires. So went through the A+, got that certification. Went right into Dr. Felix's class, which was the Cisco entry level. Very challenging. I think Derek mentioned that, or Jack, which were two of my Cisco classmates. Very challenging. It's no joke, but it is definitely doable, because I'm sitting up here telling you that it is. It's not, nobody up here is well, I shouldn't speak for everybody. I'm not a genius, y'all. Not by a stretch. But I worked hard. I committed myself, and not only that, I had the technical expertise of Dr. Davis. He knows his stuff, and there's no, it's hands down, he knows his stuff. Received the Cisco entry level certification a couple of months ago. I was really happy about that. Continued on into the class. The class continued to be challenging. Let me also say too that all of the equipment that we work on hands-on equipment. We have routers and switches in each pod of 2 is how we were set up, pod of 2, and on each side were a relay rack of routers and switches, and we made networks happen. We made them, we broke them, we maintained them, we troubleshooted them in every direction. And we did this on a regular basis. We also had our online tutorials and educational modules, and we also had a we had Packet Tracer, which is our simulator. So when we weren't in class with hands-on, we were able to still put networks together on our simulator. So all this has come to today. I took the CCNA test and passed it. I am so happy, y'all. I am so happy. And then not only that, I am starting my very first IT position on Monday. All right. With a company called YJT Solutions. They're a private company that provides managed IT services for trading firms. So it's going to be a really fast-paced, high-intense, get in there and learn some things. And it's going to be, I'll be an IT support analyst, of which I'll be handling the technical side for desktop support, as well as some networking troubleshooting. So what I've learned over this past year, and it's only been, a year and 3 months, what I've learned over this past year has equipped me for my career. This is my career now, and I'll be 40 years old. And so I am reinventing the wheel of my life, and I'm extremely happy and proud of that. And I have to thank CITC, Pastor Razor, Dr. Davis. They have completely helped me to transform my life. And I really encourage you all to take those steps too.
So, good morning. My name is Shadrach Amagashi. But most people just go by Shad, and I prefer. And you had it just right. Your son just said that. But anyway, most people call me Shad. Like Jack, I too have been in the technical field for over 26 years. I worked predominantly in the utilities. I worked for a company before coming to my current company, which is AT&T, a company called Citizen Utility. And what Citizen Utility was that it was a group of investors that invested in pretty much all utilities, from electric, gas, water, wastewater treatment, and telecom. So I got an opportunity to go over there right out of college, working for the company, and I did pretty well there. But in around 2000, when the 2000 craze, the dot-coms were on, the company decided to move, and I worked on what we call programmable logic controllers, kind of manage different processes in the water system. So in Illinois, we only manage water and wastewater treatment, so that's all we had. So in some of the plants, there were different PLC controllers that we managed that drove when different chlorine rates were met. So anyway, in 2000, they decided to make the transition. Shortly before that, I committed my life to Christ, and I was starting to go to a church, and it was a young brother. The church I went to was Alpha Baptist Church. We had a program where it was the Paul and Timothy concept, where they find someone that's been in the faith for you to kind of, like a mentor in Christ. And in talking through him, I kind of shared with him some of the issues I was dealing with. I had just had my youngest daughter, and I didn't want to move. I could have moved on with my company and went out of state, but having my parents in town, it was convenient for me to stay locally. So by the grace of God, the gentleman's name was Jake Taylor. He's like, hey, I work for AT&T. We're looking for some early managers with the skill sets you have. You have the electronic background. We could probably use you. So I went up, getting a job at AT&T, and did well over there. I've been there for 14 years. It'll come this November. I've been with AT&T. So, and in my previous role, I worked in the central office environment where you manage your basic POT service, which is a telephone that you pick up to call, all the way up to the optical network systems that act as the backbone. And over the years, by showing my progression, I got selected to be a few of those technicians that worked on the implementation and integration of our network elements that Jack was talking about. Actually, Jack was one of the training development managers that we would refer to, and then we had different levels of support. But in those years, around 2007, I could see a shift happening. I could see that our company was turning to be more focused on newer technologies, and they weren't providing as much training for the technicians as I felt we needed. So the job was, by the grace of God, it paid fairly well. But I always felt that, man, what if something happened? So growing up, my dad always instilled in us that opportunities come in life, but you have to be in a position to take full advantage of those opportunities. So he will always say that preparation has to meet opportunity. So I always had that in the back of my mind throughout my life so far. So I've always I knew that I needed to make the change. And like Jack, I've tried to do some self-studies, and you get going for a while, you make the commitment like a resolution, hey, I'm going to put the time aside, but life happens. And, like I said, God has been good to me, people. I kind of get emotional when I talk about it. But so I wind up meeting Dr. Davis, Reverend Davis for me personally. So we go to the same church, a different church in Bolingbrook. And so we got to talking. It's like, oh, where do you work? He told me he worked in, for Tel Labs. I don't know if we can say that or not, but worked for Tel Labs. And I work for AT&T. So we got to talking. He told me what he did, and I'm like, yeah, I'm in the central office environment. And he told me, oh, well, I'm involved with a program that teaches, Cisco certification and so forth. You may want to consider it, because I told him that's kind of where I saw the company was leaning towards. So he invited me. I came. I saw. I was ready. So I couldn't even wait. I think the class was like maybe 2 weeks in or 2 sessions in before I got involved with it. But I was like, no, I'm doing it, because over the years, again, when the opportunity is there, you have to take advantage of it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make the shift in my schedule to make sure I can, fit in and do it. So I managed to do that, and went through his program, got the certifications, and for Cisco. And I also made the commitment that, oh, you know what, maybe after I finish, because ideally you want to go through the A+ before you do the Cisco, kind of give you a primer into the Cisco that everyone talks about is challenging. It is challenging, but, don't let that scare you from, taking advantage of it. Like we're saying, none of us are rocket scientists, but if you just make the commitment and focus and set some time aside, I had to stop a lot of things that I would do, even with my family. And fortunately for me, they were understanding. But, getting back to that, so getting back to where I was at, so I went through that program and I got it, but I also made the commitment that once I finish that, I'm going to go back and get the A+. So I'm currently in the process of working on my A+. I finished the first exam. I'm hoping to take the next one in the next couple of weeks. So, again, just people in your life make a difference. So I happened to be talking to Jack, who's one of my coworkers. One of the things I did after I got my CCNA, so, we send email back and forth, and that was an accomplishment, a personal pride. So on my title, I used to have Shad Amagashi, and then my COT, which was my official title for the company. I started going /CCNA. You know, I'm like, okay. So I put that on there, and a couple of my coworkers like, man, what's that CCNA about? So I'll tell them about it. And there was another young man, Jamin, nice young guy. And I remember when he started for our company, he was so determined. And I used to, you know, he inspired me. He lived in Cabrini Green, had an opportunity to go to DeVry, and got a job with AT&T. This brother would ride his bicycle from Cabrini Green to go to Illinois Dearborn, which is on state in Illinois there. I'm like, man, that's a young brother. So I went to DeVry too, so I kind of had that, you know, relationship with them because we're both DeVry grads. And so I told him, hey, Jamin, this is what I'm doing. It's like, oh man, we're currently studying with Jack. I'm like, dude, that's good, but I did the same thing. It just doesn't work. Check this out. So I think Jack kind of got word of that, and we spoke. I'm like, yeah. So Jack came, and right away he's chimed in as well, you know. So, but I'm just saying that this is a great opportunity, and the company that we currently work for, AT&T, has officially, like I said, around 2007, I could see the shift happening, and I was trying to get myself ready. AT&T has now made it official that by the year 2020, our network is going to be an all IP platform. And, you know, in the past, it was kind of hidden. They never really wanted to say, but now they're telling us the key word that the companies use is that you've got to make the pivot, meaning that we're going this way. You can keep going the way we were before, but if you don't make that pivot, you're going to be left behind. So we've been kind of stressing it out to some of the technicians that we work with. I know Jack on the last call with one of our fourth-level managers. So you had about maybe 500 technicians on it, and he kind of talked about the program at CITC and got a couple of calls. So I was hoping to see a couple more of those technicians, but this is what I'm saying. The company has said it. The company is even paying some of those guys that are in the union to come get this type of skill sets. They paid for me to go through this program. But as you can see, they're not even here right now. So those of you that are going to want to take the challenge on and work as hard as is needed to get those certifications, AT&T has made that pivot. All those technicians that you see driving the company cars out in the field, even those that work in the central offices, by the year 2020, even before then, from what I'm hearing, if they don't make that pivot, their jobs aren't protected. So that's another opportunity for those of you that are here contemplating getting those skill sets to jump on this program and get it, you know. So for me, like I said, I've been in technology for over 26 years. And it wasn't until I made this transition and made this pivot to get the skill sets and get my certifications that when I did apply for a new position, they saw that, well, this guy is teachable, but not only does he have his previous degrees, but now he's trying to better himself. And because of that, I have now made a transition to a position which I guess I want to say is my dream position with the company. I'm now what we call an equipment design engineer for AT&T. So I'm just saying, man, you guys take the time, prepare yourself so when the opportunity comes, you can take full advantage of it. So thank you.
Hello, my name is Kendra Wiley, and it's such an honor to be here and to be especially a part of this panel. You know, the spirit at CITC is just so inviting. Before I went to CITC, I was a daycare professional. So I am as far from technical as you can get. You know, and I knew how to work it because they teach you typing in school. So, so you know how to work the computer, but to really know, you know, the inner workings of the computer, I didn't. And, you know, anyone who has children know that the daycare profession, they don't pay. You know, you don't make the money that you need to kind of help support your family or do. And I kind of get the best of both worlds because Elder Reza is my pastor, and he's just a great man. He's a great man, and he provides opportunities for not just those that are at his church, but in the community. If you want to learn, they're going to teach you. I started the class, I think, February with Derek and Deanna, and I would sit there and I'm like, oh my God, I am in this class. And I'm like, am I really going to understand and know how? And he took the time, and if you didn't understand, he took extra time. And you can sit there, if you had to sit there till 5 o'clock to figure out how something worked, or figure out what went wrong in the, you're trying to set up the network. And one time I think it was something that we did, but we could not connect this computer to this domain and this domain to this domain. He said, well, what'd you do? I said, I don't know. But he said, well, sit here until you figure it out. But it just was, you know what? But he stood there with us. And when we couldn't figure it out, he showed us how to do it again. And when I say that anybody can take this class and be successful, I'm a living witness, and I'm a testimony that you can take this class. If you don't even know about a computer, if you don't know how to turn it on, he's going to teach you how to turn it on, how to plug it up, how to do everything. Before I left the class, I had a job. And I was so grateful because ever since I've been working. And when people call me, and say, well, can you take the job? I'm grateful that I can turn some down, And then I'm also grateful because, we have a great support system at CITC, how we just network. How, if somebody has a job lead, they put it out there. And then if I have a job lead, I put it out there. And, we're just helpers one to another. And I'm grateful because I just got hired at Comcast. And June 2nd, I started full-time permanent. I've been working contract. CITC has just opened so many doors for me. And still yet opening doors. I turned down a job yesterday. I mean, it's just such a blessing. And between Elder Raisin, I haven't been in Dr. Felix' class yet. Yet, but I'm going. So, but they are such great men. And when you come in there, you don't just get training. They teach you how to work, how to interview. They teach you how to write your resume. They even teach you some things in life to talk about who we are, the challenges that you're going to face, and these are how you overcome it. And, I'm just really, really, really grateful and blessed, and God gave me favor because I don't have my A+ yet, but I am still yet working and still yet getting those offers. So if you take the class, you're just under an umbrella of blessings.
Okay. She doesn't have her A+ because she hasn't taken the test. That's the only reason why. I'm going to ask Trajan to come up to this microphone here. And Trajan is our college. He's got a story to tell.
Right. My name is Trajan House, as Pastor said. I'm a freshman at Milwaukee School of Engineering, studying to get a BS in software engineering. My story kind of is a lot simpler than these folks up here. Started out, we always ask my mom for money to go out, and she, like all moms say, go get a job. But when you're 16, and it's not like you can just go to any store or any place to get a job nowadays. So I need to get some skill sets, and since I went to the church and the class is right next door, it's like, might as well. It's only, 4 months. You got nothing else to do for the summer. So took the class and ended up getting certified when I turned 16, like right before the deadline for lifetime. So I'm lifetime certified at A+. Then that's good too. Like immediately after getting certified, I ended up getting an internship that I got hooked up with, which was awesome. So I built up the experience. Then after that, I worked the summers and I had paid internships with City-Chicago, working downtown at the Cook County Assessor's Office. Then following that summer, I was working with Homewood Flossmoor School District. And I'm just saying that that the CITC really helped me out now that I'm in college. Doing the hands-on labs over there in CITC really helps me out now. I'm sitting in the classroom for 2 hours trying to write some type of program. And just taking what I knew from CITC and embedding it now to what I'm taking at school, I can learn from the computer side of things and how to program my software to work with the computers. Like, I remember do funny things. Like recently, I was able to create a virus and send it to my friend and made his computer freeze. He didn't like it so much, but I enjoyed it a lot. But the class is really helpful, and it's enjoyable. Like, they say it's hard, but it's very doable. I was in high school, so like I'm on a mental level with my superiors and elderly folks over here.
That's a mess.
They had many years of more schooling than I did, so it's definitely not impossible for anyone to do. And so that's pretty much my story.
Okay.